Hi, this is Susie DeYoung of Trauma Informed Parent. I'm joined today by the newest member of our team, Catherine Galda. We want to share details with you of our upcoming webinar, the free webinar on caring for emotionally dysregulated youth. The response to our survey overwhelmingly indicated how many of you would like to learn more about this topic. And thank you to everyone who took the time to take the survey. First, I want to introduce you to Catherine. She is a psychotherapist and trauma specialist with a master's in clinical social work from Columbia University in New York City. Catherine has over 25 years experience as a private practitioner and has served as a community recovery leader for traumatized communities. She's consulted with communities that have been impacted by trauma, and those include Newtown, Connecticut, Uvalde, Texas, and Orlando, Florida. So before we share the details on the upcoming webinar, Catherine and I want to briefly share some of our personal and professional experience with you. So you can rest assured that this webinar will be led by a capable and qualified team. Turning it to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Susie. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad to be here and be part of the Trauma Informed Parent Project. As Susie shared with you, I have been a psychotherapist for many, many years. My journey didn't start there, though. My journey started with my own life and my own childhood. I am a complex trauma survivor of early childhood trauma. And, my journey was through years of therapy and healing and recovery. And through that, I think it's important to mention that there were many people throughout my life who were there for me, who were able to stand alongside me in a non judgmental way and be able to offer me skills and tools that helped me to heal. And so that's part of how I come to be here and how I come to be at a place in my life where paying it forward and really leaning into others who are struggling becomes an important part of my own life mission. In terms of my professional life, I have started my career in acute care inpatient psychiatric hospitals, went from there to partial hospital or day hospital programs, which are step downs, and private practice as well. And then took a break to have two children and came back to work uh, as a community recovery worker after the Sandy Hook school shootings. My eldest daughter is a survivor of the Sandy Hook school shootings, and I felt compelled at that time to take the trauma practice that I had been working in and all the skills that I had and give that to my community in whatever capacity they needed. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to work alongside Susie for a period of time and work on a couple of different grants during the 4 years of the aftermath of the Sandy Hook school shootings that I worked in. And then from there was able to get an amazing opportunity to come down to Florida with my family and to begin an outpatient mental health treatment program in a nonprofit, in a large nonprofit. And from that, we've created this wonderful outpatient service with counseling and medication management and two unique components that aren't found in mental health outpatient services typically. One is an education and awareness building that goes out into the community and provides information about mental health and mental well-being, as well as stigma reduction to kind of bring everybody onto the same page with the same vocabulary around the importance of mental health. And the other component is a crisis response team. So we have a team of what's called second line responders. So we do not respond in the immediate aftermath, but just after the Red Cross and everyone else gets there, we are deployed to go out into our community to provide crisis support, to provide resources and information for those who are just beginning their own healing journey and really trying to get the ground back underneath them. So that's been my work up to this point, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to join the Trauma Informed Parent team. And so I want to kick it back to Susie so that we can continue to tell you about what is upcoming. Susie,
Thank
tell us about you.
you, Catherine. Well, as for me, I left a career in television production to become a parent, to switch careers, and to also work on my own healing from a series of early childhood traumatic events. I hold a master's degree of education in parent and child development from Bank Street College of Education in New York City. I worked as a preschool teacher and as a parenting coach. And in 2004, my oldest son suffered a very, very traumatic accident that landed him in the hospital for over a month. He was 7 years old. The medical care he received was great, but at the time, there was little to no mention of the word trauma. Much of it we had to learn along the way, and much of his PTSD did not manifest until he was a teenager. Trauma-informed parent was largely created to offer parents and caregivers the kind of resources and information that were unavailable to us at the time of my son's accident. Professionally, following the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings, where I live, I became involved with community recovery and worked alongside Catherine in a number of roles there. I also worked for a nonprofit called the Aviel Foundation, which was created by the parents of 6-year-old Aviel Richmond, who is one of the children who lost her life in the Sandy Hook shootings. Along with Aviel's father, Dr. Jeremy Richmond, we ran a local mental health speaker series called the Brainstorm Experience. And through that, I was able to work with a number of leaders in the field of trauma and wellness, including Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, Dr. Nadine Burke-Harris, Brene Brown, and Dan Harrison, and others. Presently, I work as a researcher for author Andrew Solomon, and I am currently researching the topic of youth suicide for his upcoming project. For info on what to expect on the upcoming webinar, I'm going to hand it over to Catherine. The link to register will be on the Facebook page and the Instagram page and the YouTube channel, and it will be on our website, traumainformedparent.com. And Catherine will tell you what you can expect from this webinar.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Susie. So for this first webinar, we really want to take a deeper dive into the relationship between emotional dysregulation and traumatic experience. It's important that we kind of take some time to get on the same page so that we're understanding the parameters of what we're working with or what we're talking about. We want to be able to talk about what emotional dysregulation looks like versus typical behavior, right? Because our children, as they develop, we know that kids go through all sorts of changes. And sometimes we see emotional dysregulation as a part of that, but there's a difference between what is typically emotionally dysregulated kiddo versus a young person who's really struggling with a persistent emotional dysregulation. We'll talk about how to help. One of the things that I think is important in any kind of discussion and any kind of bringing together of individuals who want to learn more is practical, applicable skills that you can take away today and use today. That will help to change the dynamic of what's happening at home or what's happening in your lives together. So we want to make sure that we talk about those, that we do some teaching. We also want to look at our parents and caregivers. It's only going to be a brief dive for this webinar, but really take some time to focus on all of you and how you're taking care of yourselves and things that you can do to preserve your own mental well-being while parenting to the very best of your ability. So we're going to focus on all of that, and there'll be plenty of time for questions and discussion. And certainly if you stump us with a question that we can't answer, Susie and I will go back and do the research and get back with you. I think it's really important that we have the opportunity, because we don't have all the answers and we don't always know exactly what will come up when we do one of these. So we want to make sure that you know that we are dedicated, even after the webinar's over, to finding the answers for you if it's possible. So we're really looking forward to you joining us. I'm going to kick it again back to Susie to finish us up, but I hope that you go in and sign up. I think it will be an hour well spent. So Susie, back to you.
Yep. Thank you, Catherine. Again, go to the website to register, www.traumainformedparent.com. Again, we'll post the links on social media. And for those of you unable to attend live, we will be recording the webinar so you can watch it after. And again, thank you. Thank you for following the page, and look forward to seeing you again.